So even though this is a 3% section, when you're riding it with some good power and strength, it can hurt every bit as much as an 8% section. Now, if you notice a little bit of heart rate drift in the beginning, since this is the start of your first climb, go ahead and feel free to change gears. Find a comfortable rhythm.
All right, here we go.
Better that you settle in the beginning rather than suffer later. As we grind our way through Live Oak, in less than 30 seconds, another change. If you need to drop those heels a little bit on this climb, you can get a little more power by sliding back in the saddle and dropping your heels. All right, here we go. Out of the saddle for the first time. Lighten the load, get out of the pedals. This is about a 5% grade, so give yourself a little bit of movement on top of that bike. Just another 10 seconds to flush out those legs and get out of the saddle for the first time.
I'm a little different. Welcome, welcome.
Now continue to breathe as you slide back in that saddle, keeping your heart rate right around 70%. We're on a 1 through 10 scale, right about a 7. We're training in zone 2 or low end zone 3. Now over the next 3 minutes on this section, if you need to play the gears a little bit more, do that, but feel the power out of the pedals. Work on cadence, work on form, work on technique. Feel as though you're on the front of this group. You're the one setting tempo.
All right, here we go.
You're the one leading through this climb. Try to keep your RPM
A little different for everybody here. Thanks for joining in.
You'll notice that a lot of strong climbers, you can't tell how hard they're working. They almost look effortless. Remember, the name of the game on a climb is putting out a lot of wattage with the least amount of effort. Conservation while maximizing your power output. 90 more seconds on this section. If you're not a climber, we're going to turn you into one on this ride. This is going to improve your climbing skills. We're going to have a good mix of some minerals coming up. Don't be shy with that resistance. Go ahead and throw down some gear when we need you to. 45 more seconds till the next transition. Stay steady, stay steady.
Yeah, that's why it's ironic, Nadia. Pretty funny.
Remember, gang, if you don't have a lot of time to
All right, I've actually done.
go find some help. They're a perfect antidote to building up power and strength while saving and maximizing the time that you have to train. 30 more seconds, we make another transition. Alright, we're going to move into a slightly larger gear. Now let's get out of the saddle and accelerate. Give yourself a hard little effort for the next 15 seconds, your first major hit of the day. A little more, 10 seconds. A little harder, a little more intense. Just 5 more seconds to wake yourself up.
A little warm up in.
And you can slide back in that saddle, but stay consistent on that climb. Keep it at about an 8 on the perceived exertion scale. This is about a 4% grade, and you are still carving your way through live oak. Generally on the group ride, it's already broken up. The tempo, the cadence has been high enough, there's been several attacks, and the dead wood has already drifted off the back of the group. The selection has been made. 45 more seconds on this section.
Dialing in the resistance here. Looks like we're just about there.
30 more seconds to go. Now, if you can keep that heart rate in check, go ahead and go into a larger gear. Maintain the same RPM. Your mid to high end
Get it down
zone
there.
3, going into zone
Welcome.
4.
Good morning, everybody. I'm a little different today.
Start to add on a little bit more gear. You're going to approach the wall. It goes up to 12%. Here we go. Let's get out of the saddle. I want you to accelerate. If you're a good climber, now's the time to attack. 2 minutes. Don't leave anything back. Zone 4, zone 5.
Nice and steady.
A little more gear, a little harder. The wall is not an easy hill. Everything you've got, go ahead and dig down. Now, if you were in the group,
really gotta work that low
actually coming
cadence.
off the front, you'd have to respond. So give yourself a couple of accelerations. 90 more seconds up the wall.
There we go.
This is the last part of the live oak section, the hardest part. At this moment, you got to look around and see who's left, and then make another acceleration. 75 seconds to the top of the climb. It's a grinder, make it count. If we were on the road right now, we'd be at about 10%.
Whew.
Less than a minute.
There you go.
Time to find that red line. Keep drilling that bike. Go ahead and drive all the way through. About 40 more seconds to the top. Dig down, your first hard effort right now. Get to threshold, 30 more seconds.
That's about there.
More power. Finish it off, 15 seconds all the way through. Accelerate, 10
Almost
seconds.
there.
Just like you're going after that KOM. To the top of live oak. Now you can recover, good work. Back in the saddle, if you want to flush out those legs, now is the time. Go back to easy pedaling, back down to a zone 1 or low end zone 2.
All right. Good morning. We're just joining in. Fun old school workout from Trainer Road.
90 seconds to flush out those legs. Recover, breathe, and hydrate if you need to. Refocus on establishing that circular pedal stroke. As you do that, breathe deep. Let your heart rate come down. Coming out of the live oak section, you're coming up to the famous Cook's Corner, and then we take the bend up the hill. Another climb approaches. Now over the next 45 seconds before we make that transition, start to bring yourself out of recovery a little bit. Take a few deep breaths, add on a little more gear, pedal smooth. Cook's Corner is the spot on Como Street. It's where everybody watches the cyclists come by. It's where the separations are seen. How many seconds behind or ahead are you? When you make this corner, you think you've recovered, you think you've gone through the wall, you think you've survived Live Oak, and guess what? The Cook's Corner climb. It's a 4% grade. Back to power and back to strength. It's a test. How can you recover? You're already fatigued and you've got to climb again. If you were a little behind, now you got to make up that gap. If you were on the front, you want to continue the damage. You want to pedal hard. 90 more seconds before we make a transition. Stay strong, be resilient here. If you're a good climber, now's the time when you want to keep the heat on. You want to find out who's weak and who's strong. Who's going to stay with you now?
Alright, trying to get this all dialed in. Looking pretty good now. Feeling pretty good.
Now the next several minutes are going to make a major dent in your climbing ability. Follow the Cook's Corner climb as it undulates through. In 45 seconds, we're going to change our intensity and we're going to change our gear selection.
Hey, what's up, little guy?
About 80%, high-end zone 3, low-end zone 4. Let the upper body follow the legs.
Here we go. Dig in here.
Good rhythm as you pedal. Let's get out of the saddle. Add a little bit more gear if you can and give me a little acceleration. Less than 1 minute out of the saddle. Use this section as you increase a little bit of intensity just to kind of find a more delicate rhythm on the pedals.
Here we go.
If you need to rock back and forth, get comfortable, but stay strong. Pedal with confidence.
Good cadence here.
If you'll notice, a lot of good
standing.
climbers pedal with confidence. They don't look around, they don't look back. Be confident in your training and your pedal strokes here. Go after it, make it count. 20 more seconds out of the saddle. Now settle back into that climb, but maintain the same intensity.
There we go.
You don't want to get dropped here. Stay attached.
Get that cadence. Oh no. Oh, that is fine. No! No! Ah!
Hi, I'm Doug Katona, Category 2 road cyclist and president of the MotorTab cycling team. This
There you go. Oh, phew.
The climb keeps going, you keep going. Now we're going to make another transition. Get ready to add a little bit more gear. Go into that big ring. I want you to get out of the saddle again and go ahead and finish it off. Less than 30 seconds, a consistent acceleration.
But up.
A little more effort.
There we go.
Just a little more effort from you. 15 more seconds of acceleration. 5 more seconds like you're trying to get rid of somebody off your back wheel. And you can get back down on that saddle. You can ease off a little bit. If you need to drink, drink. Continue up the climb. A little bit less of a grade, but enough tempo that you're not recovering. If you have your heart rate monitor on, you're right around 75 to 80% of max. RPM 60 to 80. You've been through Live Oak, you've been up Cook's Corner. Now, recovery. So if you need to go back in that small chain ring, flush out your legs, increase your RPM, hydrate up, back down into low end zone 2, high end zone 1, feel good again. In about 20 seconds, we're going to come out of that transition and you're going to like the next several minutes. We're going to give you one more little hit of an acceleration. It's going to be our final acceleration before we dive down into the canyon. Now, go ahead and move into a larger gear. Start to bring on a little bit more leg speed, a little bit more resistance. In 5 seconds, we make a move. Here's our move. Give me one more punch of power, 25 seconds of an interval. Again, accelerate. 15 more seconds to finish off the climb. 10 seconds either standing or seated, you decide. All the way through.
Steady, steady.
And that's the way to turn into a climber. You can recover. Back into zone 2. Keep your pedal stroke quick.
All right, welcome.
Less than 30 seconds on this next section, and then you get to open it up. Take a few deep breaths.
Live stream. Just about halfway through, about 30 minutes left here.
We're beginning
nice
our
little
descent.
simulation of a road we have here. Southern California. Not as much, quite as much light.
Zone.
400.
As we get into 400 tempo, stay smooth and focus on good pedaling technique. If you're a gear masher, try to go into a slightly quicker gear. Work on a weakness here. We've got a long section, over 7 minutes. You're right near the start and finish line of the National Time Trial Championship. 7 solid minutes of focus and intensity, but something you can manage. This is not a war, just a battle.
Try this at low cadence here. Modify it just a bit. On that.
Find a gear that you can ride at about 75% of your maximum. Work on endurance. Work on consistency.
Climbs.
Focus on the quadriceps, the hamstrings,
It's not Nadia.
the glutes,
Weird.
the calf.
Video does not come with me.
Feel and allow those muscles to work in
Separate.
sync.
These are like affiliations that they have
These are the sections that you
with
need.
other groups.
These
They
are the
have their
sections
videos
when you get into a pace
integrated and you drop it in. You train a road in it.
smooth, effortless,
Calibrates them.
building that base,
Links them
building
together.
power too.
All the targets. Yeah. This is from endurance rides.
Put yourself in that pack.
I
Rotate
think the logo was there at
through,
the front.
take your pull,
See if I can bring it at the end.
relax.
Really work that low end. Cadence. That power nice and steady.
You're in zone 3, about 75% of maximum heart rate. Again, find the right gear. Find a gear that you know you can manage without changing a lot of gear selection over the next 5 minutes. This is all about keeping it pegged. This is about going on cruise control, but a cruise control that you know you're doing some work, but you can also feel the energy change.
Oh, here we go. Get it focused here. Trying to drop this cadence down.
On any
Keep it nice
given
and
weekend,
steady.
you can see hundreds of cyclists on this road. You're only 30 minutes away from the ocean, and you're only 30 minutes away from the mountains.
Solid tempo.
Now, as these riders pull through, you're seeing riders from the top 3 teams in the area. Edge Toyota, the MotorTab cycling team, and Team Veloce. Together,
Feel it
those
in the
3
hips
teams
here.
have over 200 members in Southern California, with
Nice and
3
steady.
very elite racing teams.
4 minutes left here. Come on.
Now you're almost halfway through this section. Keeping the same gear, if you want to bring up your RPM, if you've settled into a good rhythm, and you can keep the heart rate controlled, go ahead and do that. If you like where you're
Nice
at,
and low.
keep pedaling.
And on top of this gear. High 60s, low 7. Keep it grinding. Really simulate.
These are the
Elite.
sections when you can kind of listen
Workout
to your
strength,
body.
endurance.
Feel your pedal rhythm, your technique. Is your heel up? Is your heel down? Look down at your knees. Are you close to that top tube? Are your knees tracking the way you want them to? Do you feel smooth? Do you feel like you can ride this way all day?
Steady.
Open up your breath.
Ooh, thanks for joining in, everybody. It's about 24 minutes left here. Just over halfway through.
Although most of the
Just to
power
mix it
in
up.
the pedal stroke is between
Let me know.
about 3 and 4 o'clock,
Rest week.
you want to feel almost effortless.
Motivation
as you
sometimes
pedal
ends
down
up being
this
pretty
road.
low. End of the rest week. Even at the coach.
Your legs feel like you can snap and
Wanna mix
accelerate
it up?
if you needed to. But you also
Pretty
feel
steady
like you're
here.
putting out enough effort that something's getting done.
Really trying to work that low end. Muscle endurance, muscular strength. Low end.
You've got a little over 2 minutes left on Santiago Canyon Road.
High gear.
before we go on to another transition
muscle load.
into another canyon.
Power's looking good. Really starting to feel it in the hamstrings. Right where you want to feel this on the climb. Really digging deep. Switch it up for high cadence. Trial section. Maybe we'll mix it up.
Keep your hands light on those handlebars. Let your legs do the
Nice and
work.
steady. Here we go.
Now in 90 seconds, we're going to start to move into Silverado Canyon, and it's going to be another section of some hills. So if you want to start to make that move and you want to go into a slightly larger gear without sacrificing too much power or heart rate increase, you can do that now. A little over 60 seconds and we move into Silverado Canyon.
Yeah. Welcome everybody. Just throwing things a little bit in the mix. The trainer road there on the bottom.
Feeling like you're just finishing off your
Oh,
last
endurance
couple of
films.
turns through
That's
the
what it's called.
baseline.
Endurance films.
Effortless. That's a solid 7.5 minutes of quality flat road training.
Solid.
Coming up to Silverado
7 minutes of low cadence here.
Add a little bit more gear to your bike. We're going to start to move out of that comfort zone and start to make some transitions as we go into some rollers.
All right. Put this down a bit.
Now, as we turn this corner, the road's going to change.
Yep. I spin it that
So
way.
add a little bit more gear and increase your intensity. Still stay quick, but be solid and strong. Move into high-end zone 3. And if you can tolerate it, move into a slightly larger gear. So out of endurance, back into some strength. Working on more power. You might feel like your heart rate is beginning to rise, but that heart rate drift is normal. You've got 5.5 more minutes on this section. You're trying to keep your heart rate percentage right around 75 or 80%. 80% if you feel good. If you're fatigued or a little overtrained, maintain 75% and be smart.
In trouble pulling up the
This is a good
website.
time to experiment
There
with
it is.
different hand positions on your bike. Even though you're putting out some good, strong effort, find a position that feels right. Find a position that you can keep your upper body relaxed and strong. Maybe it's on your brake hoods. But remember, your legs they're the key drivers. Your upper body is just along for the ride.
Right. Change here in 4 minutes. Keep up with this.
A little over 4
Our
minutes
target.
to go here on Silverado Canyon. This is about a 7-mile stretch of road that undulates. It's got some steep little pitches.
All goes along.
This is a road that's not ridden too often through the canyon. Generally, people toss this part of the road in as extra bonus training. But today, you get it as part of your entire training ride.
There you go. 3 minutes in.
Less
Easy.
traffic, less people, open road, riding to the base of Saddleback Mountain. Three and a half more minutes as we dive into Silverado Canyon, and then we start to go up and down some hills. Still maintaining 75 to 80%. If you have your heart rate monitor on, you'd be about 10 or 15 beats higher than you were on that last long, flat section of road. So if we were in the pace line right now, our speed may be a little bit higher, our power output a little greater. As you finish off the last third of this ride, think about why you're training right now. What are your goals and your objectives?
The mental.
Are you working
mental
hard
tips.
enough? On the sections that you're supposed to be recovering, are you recovering? Training is all about
Here we go.
structure. As you become more fit, the harder days become harder, the easier days become easier. Remember, in cycling, it's all about wattage and power. Putting out the most amount of power that's possible, being as light as you can, but as strong as you can. It's a delicate balance. And that's what this next couple of sections are going to bring you.
I'm good.
You're going to show some good result. We're we're going to build a little bit of character in your training. Less than 2 minutes, and then we start to make some bumpy transitions. Now over the next 90 seconds, if you can maintain the same RPM and the same intensity, begin to change your gears into a slightly larger gear.
Hey,
focus on your breathing and good, deep, full diaphragm breathing. So as you inhale, the abdomen extends. As you exhale, you draw in. If you see a cyclist climbing a hill and you look at them from the side, it almost looks like they have a full belly of liquid. That appearance is really the breath. It's breathing from below, not from above. So focus on that for the next 60 seconds.
Positions here.
As you wind down on this training ride, a little bit of fatigue is okay. Actually, you can embrace the fatigue. Use it to your advantage. That's when the most powerful riders make their move. That's when you see great strides in your training. So as we start to go through more twists and turns of Silverado Canyon, we're going to change a little bit more than we have over the last 12 minutes. The next couple of sections will cause you to be more alert. We're going to be getting out of the saddle.
Yeah, dinner ready? Not yet. 8 o'clock at night now.
But it's going to be a quality way to end this ride.
Oh, heavy. Let's go. Welcome everybody. Just joining in.
All right, here we go.
A little bit of SoCal
Let's
for
add
you.
a little more gear and get out of the saddle. Let's take up the intensity. Start to increase that heart rate. Going up another rise for another 15 seconds.
Oh, nice.
Out of the saddle. If you feel
We're supposed to be pretty good.
Go ahead and put it down a little bit. Bring something.
Bit of climbing
Show
here.
some power. Show some
Increase in
strength.
resistance.
That's it. On top of those pedals, and go back in the saddle, but maintain that grade, maintain that tempo, that rhythm, that cadence. We're at about a 4% grade on the road. Another 90 seconds right here, about 75
Out of transitions here.
If you feel good, mark that 80% and keep it right there. Stay consistent.
We have this low cadence for this. Climbing.
Anybody can start a climb strong. It's how you finish the climb that makes the difference. Anybody can climb for the first half of the climb. Anybody can stick in the group on the first half of the climb. But this is when your training pays off.
Cadence row. Right at 60.
Using your legs with a lot of power. This is a section of road that there's not usually a lot of bike lane, nor is there a lot of traffic. A lot of trees, there's always a breeze. But it's relentless, it never seems to end. 30 more seconds here. Let the legs do the work.
Come on. Thanks for joining in. Last bit of the seated climb here.
Now go ahead and move into a slightly larger gear. Maintain the same RPM. Maintain right around 80%. Now add some more gear. If you can move into your big chain ring, now's the time. Go ahead and get out of your saddle. You've got less than 20 seconds. Give it a quick burst. Don't let your cadence drop. Try to maintain cadence, maintain power and strength. 10 more seconds. Solid and strong. Stay on top of those pedals. A couple
Doing
more
great
seconds.
here. 12 minutes left total.
And slide back into your saddle.
Yeah.
Now maintain this steady climb. The end is just around the corner. 75 seconds, but you're still climbing. Don't let up. You're still high in zone 3. Maintain power and control. If you keep your heart rate between 75 and 85%, there's your range. RPM at 60 to 80.
Keep it nice and low.
Open up your breath and maintain good power through the rest of the 45 seconds left on this portion of the climb.
Nice job.
Keep your knees high, big circles as you pedal.
Relaxed.
Keep your shoulders down and relax that upper body. Find good rhythm. You can still work hard and have good rhythm. Less than 30 seconds on this section.
Nice and solid.
On most hills, your RPM ranges are going to be between 60 and 80 RPM, and most of the strength work is done between 75 and 85%. Now in 5 seconds, we're going to make another transition. So again, let's get out of the saddle. This is about a 7% grade on the road, so if you want to add some more resistance over the next 10 seconds, you can. Give it a little jump for 5 more seconds. And maintain good focus. Slide it back in the saddle, maintain steady cadence. In another 30 seconds, you'll see what Silverado brings. It never changes. Silverado Canyon is one of those roads that you can ride it 100 times. It doesn't get easier. So stay resilient here. We're on the home stretch, but you've got a couple more challenging sections ahead. Now start to move into a larger gear again. We're going to make another transition, and here we go. We're going to get out of the saddle again. It's a steep section. Accelerate if you can. In about 25 seconds, you're going to get back in that saddle, so if you want to move into a larger gear and test your legs, now's the time. About another 10 seconds, so go ahead and punch if you can. Another acceleration if you have it in you.
There you go.
5 more seconds. Now maintain the power climb. Challenge yourself. See if you can maintain that intensity as you get back in the saddle. 85% or better. If you want to move into zone 4 and roll with it, go ahead and do that. Maintain a solid RPM of 60 to 80. Think of this portion of the climb as almost like a time trial. You've got 5 minutes on this section. See if you can maintain that RPM. Coach yourself, take inventory. Stay focused, let some of that energy out. Embrace the fatigue. This is when you become a better climber. This is when other riders decide to take it easy or drop back in the field, but this is the time when you move to the front. This is the time when you set tempo, you become the captain. Ride like it doesn't matter if someone's behind you. You're just going to ride away. Go ahead and breathe heavy. Go ahead and move the pedal hard. That's what this section is about. Because if you challenge yourself by reaching that limit, that's where the rewards are. Three and a half more minutes. Pedal that metal.
What's there? So happy.
Now as you drop
keep
those
this low
heels,
cadence.
feel your hamstrings engage.
Yep.
Feel your glutes do the work. Increasing wattage, increasing power output. About 3 more minutes on this tough section. Prove to yourself you can do it.
Almost there.
Remember, what are your goals? What are your objectives? Take advantage of this training ride. This is high quality. Silverado Canyon in Southern California.
Andy, welcome.
Keep bringing it.
Rain's still here. Hopefully only till June. Yeah, I guess.
Stay focused over the next 2 minutes. Just squeeze that little extra out of the pedals. Keep that threshold high. Just hold on a little while longer. Let that elastic start to stretch, but don't let it snap. Be a climber.
Punch.
60 seconds. Be honest and be truthful. Stay in that RPM. Don't let it go anywhere. Stay on top of those pedals. If you have to prove to yourself that you have more in you, you can pick it up a little more. "30 more seconds to stamp on it." Now, as you're breaking down a little bit, remember that you're also building up. If climbing is tough for you, these are the sections that will make you a strong and powerful climber.
What do we got?
Now let's move into a larger gear and really move it. Here we go. A 30-second interval, an 8% grade out of the saddle. Time to hammer, 30 seconds. Give it a hard acceleration. This is your last heavy move of the day. Get some separation from you and the group. 20 seconds. Punch it and lay it down. In 15 seconds, you're done. If you can move into a larger gear, do that right now. 10 more seconds of a hard interval. Finish it strong. Move that red line up for yourself. Move that threshold. And get back in that saddle, finish the climb and stay strong. Now you make the choice. You can sit here or you can stand. In 45 seconds, the hard work is almost over. So continue to drill through. Breathe, open up those lungs, but stay riveted. Stay focused on the task at hand. You're almost home. "15 more seconds, seated or standing, you make the call, but bring it. Pedal a little harder, less than 10 seconds. 5 seconds, accelerate. And you can slide back in that saddle, ease it off a bit. Now you're in the home stretch. Start to go into a smaller gear. The hard work is over, the reward is ahead. Mission accomplished. You've made it through Live Oak, Cook's Corner, Santiago Canyon, and Silverado Canyon, which together form one of the toughest and most rewarding training rides in Southern California. And that's the way to finish it. Good work. Now you can take some resistance off, flush out those legs. You're in the home stretch with easy RPM, 60 to 80. Start to bring that heart rate down. Congratulate yourself on a good effort of training today. Bring your heart rate down. Good work. Cool down. Easy pedaling. If you have your heart rate monitor on, let's try to take that down about 15 to 20 beats every 60 seconds. You can bring your hands off of the handlebars wherever you're most comfortable. Your training session is over. Congratulations.
Oh yeah. Thanks for joining everybody. For those who are looking for a different way to kind of use the endurance lab workouts, we are looking to show you guys how to implement that here. So thanks for that. Nadia, thanks for coming in. Good time at the movies and dinner. And I will see everyone else tomorrow. 15 minutes, we've got the ODivaZ ladies race too. So head out. All right, see you then.